Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're jumping into, well, a really fascinating intersection, technology and healthcare. Two worlds you might not immediately connect, right? We're looking at cryptocurrency. And not just the headlines about investments, but how it's actually genuinely starting to reshape something fundamental, healthcare payments. So our mission today really is to unpack what this all means. For you, maybe you're a patient trying to figure out medical bills, or perhaps a provider dealing with these complex payment systems. Or maybe you're just curious about how innovation impacts essential services. We want to get to the core of why healthcare is, well, ripe for this kind of crypto impact. We'll dig into the why and the how, going beyond just the basics.
Yeah, and just to quickly lay the groundwork, remember, cryptocurrency runs on these decentralized secure networks, blockchain. It's not just, digital cash. It represents a different way of thinking about transactions altogether, moving past the traditional banks and processors we've always kind of relied on.
Okay, so let's talk about the big issue here. Healthcare payments right now. I mean, for a lot of us, it's just a headache, isn't it? A total maze. You've got these incredibly complicated traditional systems, insurance claims that seem to go into a black hole, processing times that drag on forever, and honestly, the administrative costs can be just huge. It almost feels like the system is built to be difficult sometimes.
That's exactly it. And what's really important to grasp is that these problems, these systemic pain points, they are precisely where crypto offers a potentially powerful solution. The current setup is just bogged down. So many intermediaries, old legacy systems, not much transparency, and all that inefficiency. It directly hits patients and providers, affects access, affects solvency.
Right. So if that's the problem landscape, let's look at one of the biggest potential fixes crypto brings: speed and efficiency. Think about waiting for an insurance payment, or maybe you need urgent care while traveling overseas. You're often waiting days, maybe even weeks, for money to move. That kind of delay can actually impact health outcomes. It's a serious bottleneck.
That's exactly right. With crypto, though, these transactions can often settle in minutes, sometimes even seconds. And it doesn't matter where you are in the world. The underlying blockchain tech is the key. It's not just fast, it's secure, and it's transparent. Every single transaction gets logged permanently, tamper-proof, which, dramatically cuts down the risk of fraud or errors that's critical with sensitive health data and money. Both sides get a clear, undeniable record. It builds a whole new level of trust into the system.
Building on that trust idea, how does that immutable ledger, that permanent record, help patients and providers day to day, beyond just being faster?
Well, think about compliance. Like HIPAA regulations for data privacy here in the US. This digital trail makes audits much simpler. Every payment, every data touch point, it's all traceable, unchangeable. For providers, that means less admin hassle, lower overhead. And for patients, you get unprecedented clarity. You can see your billing, your history. It fosters much greater confidence.
Okay, and then there's the cost factor, cutting out the middleman. Traditional payments, they come with significant fees, right? Banks, credit card processors, those fees add up fast, especially if you're looking at large medical bills or, like you said, international payments. It just drives up the cost for everyone.
Absolutely. Crypto enables peer-to-peer transactions. So patient directly to provider. You bypass those traditional go-betweens, and the result, much lower transaction fees. Take those international payments again, usually slow, expensive. With crypto, they could be done quickly and affordably, no awful exchange rates, no big wire fees. It kind of democratizes the whole payment process, removing some of that old power imbalance in healthcare finance.
That really does sound like a major shift, particularly for patients, which leads us to privacy and patient control over their data. Healthcare info is probably some of the most private stuff out there. People rightly want rock-solid security for their medical records.
And using crypto for payments adds a layer of privacy right there. You're not sharing credit card numbers or bank details with every transaction, but the real potential game changer is how blockchain could give individuals fine-grained control over their own data. Imagine you get to decide exactly who sees your medical info, for how long, why, using cryptographic keys. It flips the model. Instead of institutions holding your data, you own and control it. That boosts privacy and security together.
That really does sound like empowering the patient. Thinking more globally now, what about those cross-border payments for medical care? Maybe someone needs specialized treatment in another country. Or think about international aid efforts. The current process can be incredibly complex, expensive, Bad exchange rates, high bank fees, those long waits, they're huge barriers.
Yeah, huge barriers. Crypto offers a much smoother path. It makes those payments way easier, much more affordable. You skip the currency exchange headaches, the big international fees. Transactions are fast from anywhere. It makes global healthcare, whether it's medical tourism or urgent aid, genuinely more accessible.
So if we scale that up globally, it brings up another really important point, the unbanked population. In many developing nations, huge numbers of people just don't have access to traditional banking. That creates massive problems for paying for healthcare, especially across borders. It can literally prevent people from getting care they need.
And this is where crypto can be a vital bridge. It promotes financial inclusion. All you need is basically a smartphone and internet access. You can send and receive crypto payments. This has really profound potential. It could open up healthcare access in regions where traditional banking just isn't there, empowering people who were previously just locked out of that global financial system.
Okay, so the potential is clearly massive. Really exciting stuff. But we definitely need to talk about the hurdles. It's certainly not all smooth sailing just yet. For starters, the regulations around cryptocurrency are still being figured out all over the world. That makes healthcare providers who are already in a heavily regulated field pretty cautious.
Absolutely. The lack of clear, consistent rules across different countries, that's a big one. Think about HIPAA compliance for data plus KYSAML rules for the financial side. Know your customer, anti-money laundering. Providers need things to be standardized. They need legal certainty before they jump into totally new payment systems. It's not just about one country's rules. It's about making it all work together legally across borders.
And then there's the issue everyone brings up with crypto, volatility. The price swings. Crypto values can go up and down, sometimes dramatically, very quickly. That obviously makes healthcare providers hesitant. How can they accept it as stable payment for services, especially for ongoing treatments where billing needs to be predictable?
That is a very real concern, no question. Imagine a hospital gets a big payment and then its value drops sharply before they convert it. Now, there are ways to manage this risk. Things like stable coins, cryptocurrencies pegged to, say, the US dollar. Or you could potentially use smart contracts that lock in an exchange rate when the service is provided. Protects both sides. They're not perfect fixes yet, but they show there are paths forward to tackle this key issue.
So pulling this all together, what's the outlook? Despite the challenges, which are significant, it feels like they don't totally cancel out the huge potential we've been discussing. It seems likely that as the rules get clearer and the tech gets easier to use, more healthcare providers will probably start testing the waters, maybe beginning with those stable coins.
Yes, I think that's likely. And we could also see crypto used for more than just direct payments, maybe for streamlining insurance claims processing, or even managing healthcare records securely on a blockchain, making them auditable. The underlying goal is always the same, though, a more efficient, more secure, more transparent system, something that ultimately benefits patients and providers by cutting complexity and cost.
It's really fascinating. It feels like cryptocurrency is set to play a really important, maybe even foundational role in how healthcare finance works in the future. It's clearly not just a fad. It seems like it's here to stay and evolve, and its impact is only going to grow. Right, so we have covered a lot of ground today, really dove deep into crypto's potential impact on healthcare payments. We looked at the existing problems, the big shifts crypto offers, speed, cost, privacy, access, and also faced the real challenges like regulation and volatility. Understanding these changes is really important, whether you're interacting with the system as a patient, working within it as a provider, or just watching how tech reshapes our world. And just to leave you with something to think about, we talked about the what and why. But consider your own experiences with healthcare. What specific frustration, maybe dealing with insurance or coordinating records between doctors, do you think crypto could solve first? How could this technology really empower you, empower individuals to better manage health data and costs in the coming years, moving maybe from managed care towards true patient-controlled care?